Hi students, today we are discussing about expansion of gases. Okay, so gases do not have any particular shape, and the gases are occupies entire volume of vessel. This is very important. If you take a vessel and if the liquid is filled with it, then it occupies only certain amount of the vessel. But in case of gas, the gas is filled here, it occupies the entire volume. For example, I send 2 grams of oxygen, it occupies the entire volume. If you send 1 kg of oxygen also, it occupies the same volume, entire volume. Please keep in mind. Okay. Now, in gases, we cannot neglect the influence of the pressure, because the pressure always having very high compressibility. So gases particularly we cannot neglect the effect of the pressure. Now gases have two types of coefficients. One is volume coefficient of gas. It is denoted by the alpha. While explaining the volume coefficient of gas, pressure remains constant. So always keep in mind, while explaining volume coefficient, pressure of the gas always remains constant. Let V naught is the volume of gas at 0 degrees Celsius and Vt is the volume of gas at T degrees Celsius. Then the value of the alpha is increase in volume by initial volume into rise in temperature. Increase in volume is Vt minus V naught by initial volume is V naught and rise in temperature is T minus 0. From this equation, volume of gas at T degrees Celsius is Vt is equal to, these two will be taken this side, minus V naught. If you come this side, it becomes as a plus V naught, then V naught into 1 plus alpha T. At any temperature, we can use this formula. Okay. If V1 is the volume of gas at T1 degree Celsius, V2 is the volume of gas at T2 degree Celsius. What is the difference between these two and these two? Here, volume of the gas at 0 degree Celsius, another one is at T degree Celsius. But here, V1 and V2 are volumes of the gases at T1 degree Celsius and T2 degree Celsius. So, with 0, you can use this formula. With T1 and T2, the formula for the volume coefficient of gas is V2 minus V1 by V1 T2 minus V2 T1 per degree Celsius. So other than the 0 degrees if they given, please use this one. At 0 degree Celsius and T degree Celsius given, use this formula. This is volume coefficient of gas. Okay. Now we may go through pressure coefficient of gas. It is denoted by beta. While explaining volume coefficient, we made pressure of the gas remains constant. While explaining pressure coefficient of gas, we made volume of gas remains constant. Volume of gas remains constant. So, again, for this explanation of pressure coefficient beta, consider P naught is the pressure of gas at 0 degree Celsius and Pt is pressure of gas at T degree Celsius. Then the pressure coefficient of gas is defined as increase in pressure by pressure at 0 degree Celsius into rise in temperature. From this formula, pressure of gas at T degree Celsius is Pt is equal to P naught into 1 plus beta T. Like Vt, Pt also having the same formula. Here we have the alpha, here we have the beta. Okay. If suppose P1 is pressure of gas at T1 degree Celsius and P2 is pressure of gas at T2 degree Celsius, then the formula for the coefficient of pressure of gas is P2 minus P1 by P1 T2 minus P2 T1 per degree Celsius. Like alpha, we have the formula for beta. So, this formula is applicable when the temperatures are other than the 0 degree given. Please use this formula. If the question consisting of 0 degree and T degree, use this formula. So, for different gases, alpha value is always equal to beta, that is equal to 273.16. Okay. This is about expansion of gases. Now we will go through gas laws. First one is Boyle's law. Boyle's law is explained at constant temperature. So at constant temperature, the volume of the given mass of gas is inversely proportional to the pressure. That implies PV always remains constant. So Boyle's law means temperature remains constant or PV is equal to constant. So if you draw one indicator diagram, nothing but in between the pressure and volume, P inversely proportional to V or V inversely proportional to P means it coming a rectangular hyperbola. Boyle's law is generally applicable for high temperatures and low pressures only. Okay, this is Boyle's law. Sometimes the Boyle's law explained in terms of pressure and density. We know the volume formula is mass per density. So instead of V, if you substitute mass per density, mass of the gas remains constant. So P by rho is equal to constant. Means if they ask Boyle's law, we have two formulas. One is related to the pressure and volume, another one is related to the pressure and density. Okay, now we are discussing about some applications related to the Boyle's law. So in applications of Boyle's law, first of all we discuss about the quill tube. Quill tube means it has very long length and its bore is very less, and one end of this quill tube is closed. If you send certain amount of mercury, then mercury occupies this length. This is called L, small h. Here h is length of mercury column. Okay, and at the bottom we have the gas, air. So air occupies certain amount of length. It is called as L. L is length of air column. And upside we have always acting atmospheric pressure on the upper side of the mercury column. This is quill tube. Now this quill tube I am placing at an angle. Then this is H and this is L, length of the air column, and it makes at an angle theta. Now according to the Boyle's law, what is the formula for Boyle's law? PV is equal to constant. Here the area of cross section of the quill tube always remains constant, hence we can write P into volume as A into L is equal to constant. Since area of cross section of the quill tube does not changes, so A is also constant, means P into L is equal to constant. So here what is L? Length of the air column we know. What is the P? P is nothing but capital H plus H cos theta into L is equal to constant. Here what is capital H? Capital H is the atmospheric pressure. We know the value of capital H is equal to 76 centimeter of mercury column. So if you substitute the value of H here and small h, length of the mercury column, generally they given, and theta, this is the angle theta with the normal. So if suppose this quill tube I am placing vertically like this, now I turned this one along horizontal direction. Then in initial case theta is 0. If theta 0, cos 0 value is 1 and it has a particular length called L1. If this one is rotated like this, theta is 90. Then what is the question I am asking? I am asking one quill tube is in this way having length L1. Now I turned this in this way having length L2. What is the value of L2 asking? Then in this model theta is 0, then H plus H into cos 0. Cos 0 value 1. So H plus H into L1 is equal to, in this case theta is, you turn it like this means theta becomes 90. Cos 90 value is 0. Then we have only H into L2. In this way, whatever may be the question they ask, please use the formula related to the quill tube. This is the first application in the Boyle's law. The second application was motion of the air bubble in a water. For example, I am considering some water. At the bottom, I am considering a air bubble whose volume is V1. Now, this air bubble rises to the top. If it is rises to the top, then in generally the volume of the air bubble will be increases. So question asking sometimes find the depth of the lake. So here the air bubble starts now. Depth of the lake means let us I assume H is the depth of the lake and on the surface it is always experiences the atmospheric pressure. We consider this related to the water, hence H value here taken as 10 meter of water column. Okay, generally 76 centimeter of Hg we consider, but here water I consider, that's why H value how much? 10 meter of water column. Okay, now from Boyle's law, what is the formula we know? PV is equal to constant. PV is equal to constant means pressure and volume at surface is equal to pressure and volume at bottom of the lake. What is the pressure on the surface? H and volume is V2. What is the pressure at the bottom? This is H and this is small h. So at the bottom H plus H into volume of the air bubble at the bottom is V1. So what is the formula? HV2 is equal to H plus H into V1. Sir, the formula for the pressure is H rho g na. Where is the rho g? Okay. Here density of water into G coming this side. Here also H plus S into density of water into G. So density of water G, density of water into G cancel. That's why I directly take pressure as H capital H and here the pressure as H plus H. So in suppose if they said V2 is equal to NV1 means for example from bottom to the top the air bubble volume is increases by 2 times they said, then n value becomes here 2 and he was asking what is the depth of the lake. If you want depth of the lake, okay, H into V2 nothing but NV1 H plus H into V1. V1 are cancelled. You want depth of the lake small h. So depth of the lake is equal to capital Hn minus h, nothing but n minus 1 into h. Here n is number of times. So if you just substitute the formula of small h is equal to n minus 1 into capital H, we can get the depth of the lake. Okay. If suppose they said the radius of the air bubble is R1 and radius of the air bubble after reaching the surface is R2, then what is the formula? We know the air bubble is in the form of sphere. For sphere, what is the formula for volume? 4/3 pi r cube. So in this formula, can I substitute V2 as 4/3 pi r2 cube and V1 as 4/3 pi r1 cube? Then 4/3 pi cancel. Then we have another formula h into r2 cube is equal to h plus h into r1 cube. This formula and this formula are same. If the question given in terms of volume, please use this formula. If the question given in terms of radius of the air bubble, use this formula. Here capital H value, keep in mind 10 meter of water column and 10 meter of water column and the depth of the lake is n minus 1 into H. if the given volumes, if the given radius, n cube minus 1 into h will be coming. Okay, these are the major applications of the Boyle's law. Now we go through the Charles law. Charles derived two laws, Charles' first law and second law. In this, one is at constant pressure, volume of the gas is directly proportional to the absolute temperature. Another one is at constant volume, the pressure of the gas is always directly proportional to the absolute temperature. Here, temperature must be in kelvins. For gas laws, temperature must be Kelvin should be used. Next, ideal gas equation. I think everyone knows about ideal gas equation. PV is equal to nRT. Here P is pressure, V is volume, and T is absolute temperature. What is R? R is universal gas constant, and its value is 8.317 joule mole inverse Kelvin inverse in SI units. In CGS units, 2 calorie mole inverse Kelvin inverse. What is N? N indicates number of moles. If they given number of moles, you can directly substitute the value. Sometimes they given mass of the gas and molecular weight, then use the value small m by capital M. Here M is mass of gas in grams, capital M is molecular weight of gas in grams. Sometimes they given total number of molecules of the gas, then use the formula small n is equal to n by Na. Here n is total number of molecules in a gas and Na is Avogadro's number. We know the value of Avogadro number, 6.625 into 10 power 23. Sorry, 6.02 into 10 power 23 atoms. Okay, so if you substitute those values of n here, then what is the formula we got? PV is equal to, if substitute small m by capital M, then small m by capital M into RT, P, V is equal to small m into capital R by M into T, PV is equal to MRT. This is also ideal gas equation. Here small r is equal to capital R by M is called as specific gas constant. Specific gas constant small r is equal to R by M. Specific means for different gases we have different values of small r. For all gases, capital R is always remains constant. It is named as universal gas constant. Now, basing on this ideal gas equation, we are having different types of applications. Let us discuss. First of all, we would like to discuss about different types of graphs. Sometimes the question given that this is pressure and volume, and they given two curves having one is temperature T1 and temperature T2 at mass small m and capital M are constant. Then they was asking what is the relation between the T1 and T2. So here let us take ideal gas equation. PV is equal to small m by capital M into RT. So m and capital M are constant, R is always remains constant. So we have a relation PV directly proportional to T. P means value of along the y-axis, V is value along the x-axis. Y and x multiplied means you should be considered what is the area bounded by curve. So let us check. This is the area bounded by this first curve, and this is the area bounded by the second curve. Which one is more? Clearly, A2 is greater than A1. So whenever area is more, then PV is more of that one. So whenever PV value is more, T2 greater than T1. So P and V always represents area bounded by the curve. Please keep in mind it is directly proportional to the T. That's why it is greater than A1 from the graph. Then I got T2 greater than T1. Okay. If suppose the graph is given like this, in between the pressure and volume, I got two rectangular hyperbolas having the values of m1 and m2. What is the relation between m1 and m2? Then again, take the ideal gas equation. PV is equal to small m by capital M into RT. In this process, m comma T are constant. Hence, m T constant. Universal gas always constant, then PV is directly proportional to the M na. P and V nothing but what they said, area bounded by curve. This is also directly proportional to the M. From diagram, which one is more? This is the area bounded by M1 and this is the area bounded by M2. Very clearly, A2 is greater than A1. A2 greater than A1 means it is directly proportional to M, means M2 is greater than M1. So this is the relation between the M1 and M2. Okay. In the question, if they ask what is the relation between the capital M1 and capital M2, then again we take PV is equal to small m by capital M into RT. They said small m constant, T constant, R always remains constant. Then we got the relation called PV inversely proportional to the molecular weight. PV, from the graph, PV indicates area bounded by curve. So area bounded by curve is inversely proportional to the molecular weight, and this is the area bounded by the M1 and this is the area bounded by the M2. So clearly A2 is greater than A1, but it is inversely proportional to the molecular weight means M2 is less than M1. Okay, so we always take the P and V graph, but here some physical quantities are changes. Based on this one, the relations will be also changes. Okay. If suppose we are considering the graph between the volume and temperature. Previously I am considering pressure and volume. Now I am considering volume and temperature, and they said there is a two graphs. One is related to the P1, another one is related to P2. What is the relation between the P1 and P2? Now, according to the Boyle's law equation, PV is equal to small m by capital M into RT. Now we have the V here and a T here. So from this equation, can I write V by T is equal to small m by capital M into R by P. During this process, small m and capital M are constant. So small m constant, capital M constant, R is always constant. So V by T is directly proportional to the 1 by P. V by T means Y by X. That means we can consider the slope of graph. The slope of graph is inversely proportional to the pressure. What is the meaning of slope? Tan theta na? Theta considered here. This is with P1, hence theta 1. This is with P2, hence it is called as theta 2. Which one is more? This is theta 1 and this is theta 2. So, slope theta 2 is more than theta 1. So, what we got? Second slope is more than first slope. But you said slope of graph is inversely proportional to the pressure. Hence, P2 is less than P1. Inversely proportional means P2 here greater than now becomes into less than P1. Understand? So, while doing the graphs in the ideal gas equation, you can consider sometimes areas, sometimes slope of the graph. Everything is came from general equation PV is equal to small m by capital M into RT. Okay? Let us see the second application. In some cases, they took two vessels, both are connected by means of some valve. Here, the chamber is filled with gas having pressure P1, volume V1, temperature T1, and chamber 2 is filled with another gas, pressure P2, volume V2, temperature T2. If suppose here there is no gas, indicate evacuated chamber. For evacuated chamber, pressure is always 0, but it has some volume V. Only pressure 0 if they said evacuated chamber. Okay. Now, what I am doing here? If you remove the valve, what happens? The gas is rushes into the another chamber. This gas is rushes into this chamber. After that, mixing of gases will be takes place. In this case, always we are using a formula called total number of moles before joining is equal to the total number of moles after joining. So before joining, I think number of moles in chamber 1 is N1, chamber 2 is N2. After joining, number of moles in chamber 1 is N1 dash and chamber 2 is N2 dash. This is the formula we are regularly using if the question is asking after removal of valve. Sometimes the question asking temperature, sometimes the question asking resultant pressure or resultant volume. Okay, let us discuss one example numerical based on this application. Let us see one of the question. Two vessels having the same volume. Same volume means here volume is V, here also volume is V. Containing pressure P1 and T1 and pressure and temperature are P2 and T2. The two walls are now connected through a small tube. In equilibrium position, pressure is P and temperature T becomes same in the two vessels. Find the value of the P by T. Okay. So, in equilibrium means he was removing the valve. That's why the two gases are coming to the equilibrium. During this case, what is the formula you are using? N1 plus N2 is equal to N1 dash plus N2 dash. So, from ideal gas equation, what is the formula we know? PV is equal to nRT na. From this, what is the value of N? N is equal to PV by RT na. So, what is initial one? N1 plus N2 is equal to N1 dash plus N2 dash. What is initial number of moles? P1 V by N na or T1. What is initial number of moles here? P2 V by R T2 is equal to, after that what happens? Final pressure is P, volume does not changes, RT, final pressure P, volume does not changes, RT, because he said pressure and temperatures are same in the two vessels. That's why P I wrote, T I wrote. So what I got? From this equation, V by R is common, P1 by T1 plus P2 by T2 is equal to, here 2 times coming, 2 PV by RT. So V by R cancel. He was asking P by T. So what is the value of P by T here? 1 by 2 into P1 by T1 plus P2 by T2. Not only this question, if any question related to this model, always keep in mind the number of moles before joining is equal to the total number of moles after joining. Okay. Another numerical related to the ideal gas equation. Let us see. Don't see the size of the question. Read the question. A glass tube sealed in the both ends is 100 centimeter long. It lies horizontally with middle 10 centimeter containing the mercury. So he was considered one tube, okay, glass tube, and whose length is 100 centimeter, he said, placed horizontally, okay, in middle 10 centimeter containing mercury. So exactly at middle have mercury of length 10 centimeter. That means out of 100, 10 centimeter is over, exactly middle I place. That means this is becomes 45 centimeter and this is becomes 45 centimeter. Okay. Now the two ends of the tube containing air at 27 degrees Celsius. So here the air is at 27 degrees Celsius. Here also the air is at 27 degrees Celsius. And pressure is 76 centimeter of Hg. Here also 76 centimeter of Hg. This is the first case. Now, what he was doing? In the second case, the air column on one side is maintained at 0 degrees Celsius. Here what is the temperature he maintained? 27. Now he was maintained at 0 degrees Celsius. Whenever the temperature is decreases, automatically the pressure is varies. So the mercury column is moving in this direction. So it has a length of 10 centimeter always. Okay. Now what he was asking? One is maintained at 0 degrees Celsius and another one is maintained at 127 degrees Celsius. That means due to high temperature, this is moving in this direction until both sides having the same pressure. So he was asking what is the length of the air column on colder side. Colder side means it has lesser temperature now. He was asking this length. This length initially is 45. Now I taken this length is as 45 minus L. This length is taken as 45 plus L. Otherwise, if you take this length is L, 10 centimeters over, hence this length is 90 minus L. So total 100 now, out of 100, 10 centimeters over, and this I taken as L, hence it is 90 minus L. Your wish, you can take this value or this value. Now, according to the chamber 2, what is the formula for ideal gas equation? PV is equal to nRT na? Now apply. Pressure is P, V, volume is length, you know, that's why L into area, pressure into volume by number of moles formula R into what is the temperature here? 0. 0 means in kelvins 273 plus 0. This side pressure into length 90 minus L I take and the area of cross section remains constant by R into what is the temperature here? Celsius given, hence in kelvins 273 plus 127. So anything cancel? PP cancel, AA cancel and RR cancel. So what is the remaining value? L by 273 is equal to this side 90 minus L by 273 plus 127 means 400. Make the cross multiplication, then 400 L is equal to 273 into 90 minus 273 L. Take this side, 673 L is equal to 273 into 90, then L is equal to 273 into 90 by 673 centimeters. Calculate this value. Then you got the value of length. So while doing the numericals related to the ideal gas equation, general formula is always PV is equal to nRT should take. Okay. Here the number of moles remains constant, hence N is equal to PV by RT. Volume, this is the area of the tube, one side, and only length is varies. That's why L into I is substituted. Okay. This is about expansion of gases. Okay. Thank you.